Welcome to the desert of the real.
Peace, family. This is your brother, Mr. Holipsism. I'm going to put a qualifier before this video. A lot of my subscribers are a bit annoyed because they feel like I'm dedicating too much time toward arguing with these bootlicking Negroes. And really, I understand that, and I agree with them to a certain extent. I just feel like there's certain talking points that need to be addressed and smashed, because if not, they take on a life of their own, and our people start repeating these talking points as if it's fundamental reality. I don't really want to do this video, but I've been asked and requested by numerous people to do this, so I'm going to address this talking point. I was going to make this a talking point smash. I don't even know. I'm just going to address it while it's on my mind. For some strange reason, Negroes' minds can't comprehend two things at one time. So it's either you're an individual or you're a collectivist. You can't be both. Either, I'm saying it's like two separate ideas can't exist in their mind at the same time. So when I start talking about individualism, then people think that I'm talking about all individualism. Individualism as a concept is not good or is bad or whatever. No, morons, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you base your ideology primarily on individualism, that's what's faulty. Individuals are important. The collective is important. And as a matter of fact, without the individuals looking and seeing things from different points of views, the collective can't thrive and prosper. I've mentioned this 1,000 times, but apparently, I have to keep repeating myself over and over again because these simpletons can't understand the concept. Now, one of the things I want to address is this happens in every goddamn conversation, especially lately. And it happened recently on College Show, where you got these guys calling in and they talking about, we need to stop talking about the collective. We need to stop talking about we, and we need to start talking about you. And they make these loaded statements. The thing that I don't understand is this. If you're getting on the radio and you're telling me how successful you are, just doing you, not relying on anybody else but yourself, congratulations. Congratulations. I have no problem with somebody who doesn't want to be a part of any type of a collective endeavor. They want to go out there and do it on their own. Fine. The thing that I'm confused about is, why are you coming to the nationalists and the people who are trying to organize together to throw a turd into the punch bowl? That's the part I'm not getting. If you're about individualism, you've already accomplished your goal. Because if you're going out trying to teach your individualism to other people so that you can get a bunch of people following the same thing that you're following, what makes you any fucking different than me? The person that you claim that I am. You claim that I'm the Borg and I want everybody to follow me, but yet you're going around trying to convert people to your church. Listen, this is very important. I'm not even going to get into their mentality, because first of all of these people are trolls. Their purpose is to throw a turd into the punch bowl, to have us in ideological quicksand and never able to accomplish anything because we're busy arguing with these talking points. It's as simple as this. The individual does not exist in a vacuum. The family does not exist in a vacuum. If there's two words that niggas need to understand, Two words is subject and context. And it's very, you know what? If you understand the concept of subject and context and know the definition of those things, you will find that your grasp on information and your grasp on knowledge and your intelligence will increase tenfold because you're going to be way above the bar of the normal thinking person. Because when I hear people say, "Well, why don't you individually just do this? Why don't you pick yourself up by the bootstraps and do this or that and blah blah blah?" And they say this to other people in our nation. My question to you is, would that make sense if you were saying that to a prostitute? If I go to a prostitute and I say, "Why don't you leave that John, the pimp alone and just go directly to the John? Because then you wouldn't need a middleman and the money be coming straight to you." Now that makes sense logically, but I'm talking to a fucking prostitute. If she can understand that subject matter, her ass wouldn't be out on a stroll in the first fucking place. But if you understood what subject and context was, then you would understand what I'm saying. Yes, we need individuals. Yes, we need people engaging in business, starting businesses, doing things like that. But my question is, why isn't that happening now? Since it's so easy and everybody claims that that's all we have to do, why the fuck we ain't doing it now? You know why? Because we don't control the context in which these individuals exist. Which is the basic premise of the nigger manufacturing machine. Our culture manufactures Negroes because that's the way that our system is set up to do. Manufacture Negroes exponentially like gremlins. I've said this 1,000 times. I'm quite sure that even after I do this video, it's going to be confusing subject matter for some people's brains to wrap around. Nationhood is about developing a social, economic, and political infrastructure that individuals can exist in. Because when you create that structure, instead of manufacturing Negroes, you be manufacturing productive, strong, black, African men, women, and children. It's a very fucking simple concept. Very fucking simple. I understand why the individual in the context of what we're dealing with right now isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. But the guys that's challenging me, they don't have a fucking clue. Because when I asked them, well, how come it's not happening now? Since you have all the answers, and since you know what individuals are supposed to be doing to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, why isn't that happening now? And you know what I get? Duh. Because we need to do this. Duh. Because we need to do that. Duh. Because we're not doing this. Duh. Because we're not doing that. And so on and so on and so on. They never give you no fucking solutions because they don't even know what the fuck the problem is. So their angst comes from them being pissed off at black people for not acting right. That's basically what it is. Tell me if I'm lying. You pissed off because black folks ain't acting the way that you think they supposed to act based upon how you act. Well, let me tell you something. I can figure that out for you, how you can make black people act the way you want them to act. Create the social, economic, and political infrastructure that they live in, and you'll get more of what you want them to produce. I've said it before and I said it 1,000 times. If you have a community with no schools that teach architecture, how the hell are you going to be mad when nobody's building anything? We have to create institutions that instill the values that we want expressed in these individuals. Right now, what we have is pockets. You have certain families who've known they've laid out the blueprint for their children, and that's a commendable thing. And a lot of these brothers who are successful, I commend them for being successful. I'm not against their success. But what bothers me is when you have a situation where you grow up in and you were functionally taught how to do certain things, and then after you do them and you're successful, you sit back and judge people who didn't have the same upbringing as you and who didn't come up in a functional environment. Our people, for the most part, are in dysfunctional environments. So instead of you caring about our people instead of wanting you to see our people in a better position, and instead of you wanting to see our children, these generation of children who come, because every time a baby is born, that's possibilities. Babies aren't just born bootlicking Negroes. Babies aren't born black nationalists. Babies are born with a clean slate, and if you have a functional environment, then our children would the success and their intelligence would rapidly grow. But we don't control the environment. And all Mr. Holipsism is saying, can we please control the environment that we exist in? That's all I'm saying. There's no reason for you to be fighting with me unless you are a fucking moron. How can you possibly disagree that black folks should control their own environment, the social, economic, and political infrastructure that they exist in? That these individuals that you want to excel so much, they need this fertile soil in order for them to excel. And that fertile soil is control over our environment. All right, how in the fuck can you disagree with me on that? Now, I hope that I cleared that up. If I didn't clear it up, let me know. I'll make another video trying to clear up what I've been saying for 50 fucking thousand times. But as of right now, that's all I got to say on this subject matter. Hit me up in the comment box, the comment box, and tell me what you disagree with or what you got a problem with. But my basic premise is a social, economic, and political infrastructure that black folks control where they live. Subject, context. I want to control the context so that the subject can be functional. Peace.